All right, we're going to start in just 1 minute. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Glad that you're here. Cool. So we have some new people here. Welcome to Crispy and Arushi.
Hi. Hi,
Hello.
John. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So glad to be
Hi.
here.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Same here.
awesome. So we picked this topic for today of stories, telling your story, because it's really pivotal for everyone. I wanted to be able to offer a class today. Everyone's at a little bit different stage, right? And so there's certain steps that we all need to take. But the thing for me that ties everything together is your story. Okay, your ability, so like learning what your story is and learning the different steps, the different parts of your story, like the formula, right? So it's like there's like three things about the story. There's the actual kind of story that you do want to tell. Then it's the formula of like how to tell it in the sequence. And then it's like learning how to tell it in terms of like presentation skills and energy and learning to project. That's more of like the presentation side of it. Today, we're not going to focus on that side so much. We're going to focus mostly on learning which story of yours to tell and learning the formula to tell it. And you're going to learn like the purpose, like what is the story meant to do? What effect is it supposed to have on your business and on the minds of the listeners? Okay, so you'll see that it's very, very important indeed. Okay, so we can just hop right in. I want to share my screen here real quick. Um, Michelle, is there anything that you want to add before we hop into this document?
Yeah, I would say your story is the most powerful vehicle. Just to put this in context, of how does this nestle into everything else? Your story is the most powerful vehicle that you are using to communicate what you do and how you can help your clients. And nothing really establishes that deep, heart centered connection and clarity of knowing that somebody's aligned to work with us more than our story. Because on a soul level, we are moving through a lot of the same things that our clients are moving through. We are moving through many of the same things that our clients are moving through, right? In our past, we've moved through these things that our clients.
That's the key that we want to talk about. It's a result that you already have. So that brings me to the first point. It's your personal story. Yeah, it's your personal story. And now this formula will help you to tell any story. So today we're going to focus on our main story, which is our personal story. But once you learn how to tell this, you can turn anything into a story, and that will move your business forward. Okay. I don't want to get too technical too fast, but just to kind of recap on what Michelle is saying, you've already moved through some kind of transformational journey, and we're going to build your business based on a transformation that you've already had. Okay. is you want to find something that you've already gotten results for. What is a result that you have right now? Okay. If you can build a business based on a result, then your story becomes the main vehicle of selling that result and selling your program. Okay. So let's just hop in. Oh, we got Emily here.
Yeah, I'd like to make
Go
another
ahead.
comment, which is that one of the errors that we make in thinking about our story and about thinking about how to frame the transformation is we'll think, well, because my life isn't perfect or because I haven't achieved every result I've ever wanted in every area of my life, somehow that means I'm not worthy or deserving of telling this story and being an authority on this transformation over here. And so we just want to like take that garbage lie and just slash it with a sword and know that you don't have to be perfect, you don't have to have it all together, but you just have to be you just have to have competency and enough to be an authority on this particular transformation to move people through it. Okay.
A few steps ahead. We have to be a few steps ahead, right? There's that scene from that movie Catch Me If You Can, where what's his name? The main character. He fools the classroom into thinking that he's the substitute teacher, and he goes on teaching for, I think,
A week.
well, in the movie it was a week. I think in real life it was a large portion of the semester. And when they asked him like, how did you do this? He's like, well, I just stayed a few steps ahead. He just read a few steps ahead of the class, and then he taught them to get to that step. And as an expert, that's all we need to do as well. We just need to be a few steps ahead. And trust me, people are going to want to work with you if you're only a few steps ahead, because it means that you're actually more qualified to help them with the stage of the journey that they're actually on, right? People who are very, very far ahead might lose touch with the initial steps of the journey, and it becomes harder to teach that, okay? So being a few steps ahead and offering a high touch program where you're really with them doing one-on-one or group coaching, that's really what a lot of people want these days. And we can all offer that very well. Okay. Leonardo DiCaprio. Well, I meant that in real life, this is based on a true story. It's a true story. And the main character, his name is slipping my mind right now, but it's who he played. Okay. So one thing I want to go into first, I'll share with you this document. I'll share my screen, and then I want Michelle to talk about being an authority, because that's part of the preparation. So if you can all see my screen here, your story is the key to your success, and part of the preparation are these 3 steps. So Michelle's really good at helping people to kind of identify their authority. So it's like, what results do you already have that you are, or that you can be an authority of, right? It's kind of like that you are inside, and then a lot of our marketing is just building up the perception in other people that we are the authority of this thing. For example, in my first business, I was a meditation teacher, and I had previously been a monk, and I turned that into an online spiritual coaching business. And yes, I already was an authority of meditation and guiding meditations. I was. And a very small group of people saw me that way. But when I ventured online, the masses didn't know that about me. So I had to help them to have that perception. So your content, a lot of our content becomes helping people to gain the perception that we are actually an expert at the thing that we are an expert at, or the thing that you are an authority. So think of it like that. Like marketing, in many cases, is about informing people's perceptions, helping them to gain correct perceptions. And here, this one is that you are the authority on this particular topic that's built on results. It's built on real results. You have results. Think of these results as like a jewel in your heart. It's a jewel in your heart. You've already acquired this. Yes, you're going to grow it. It's going to keep growing. There's no end to that journey, of course, right? Was I an expert in meditation compared to my teachers? No. But was I an expert in meditation compared to my students? Yes. Right? Compared to beginners? Definitely. Right? So you're an expert relatively compared to whoever you're talking to. To some people, you're an expert and you already have results that they really want, right? And for some, and you're still growing, right? And that's how it is for all of us. So there's no need to be discouraged. We have results and we're going to build our business based on that. And number one is we need to realize that we're the authority of this thing. And then this kind of the side point is your marketing becomes building that perception of that authority. Part of your marketing is that. So Michelle, how can people help themselves to identify what results they have that they're an authority of? This number one point.
Yeah, so I think in terms of enable, as part of identifying the results that you are an authority of, one thing you can do is you can look at what have you been doing without even knowing that you're doing it. What have you been doing without even knowing that you've been doing it? So for example, for me, what that looked like was I had been activating people's wealth for years without even knowing that I was doing it. This was like a gift that I had, right? And in that I had gained substantial authority on leading people through transformations that led to better relationships, promotions, up levels as an entrepreneur, right? These were the people that were finding me even when I was in mental health practice, right? So what we're an authority on isn't necessarily our skills. And one of the things that we tend to focus on is we focus on the things that we've had to develop because of our faults or shortcomings or weaknesses. And we look at that as a thing that we're an authority on. But what we're actually an authority on is very often the thing that we're doing that we don't even know that we're doing.
Yeah, and results that we've already
And the
attained.
results.
And then part of our process needs to be, the question we can ask ourselves is, okay, how did I attain these results? How can I lead other people to these results? Right? If you're just starting your business, you may not know the answer to this question yet. And over the next decade, if you can commit to your business, you will be unpacking this answer more and more and more every single year, right? We're still discovering this. We're always making improvements to our process, into our program, and that's good. That's what we should do. But even if you're just getting started, a good question to ask is, how did I gain these results? What is the step-by-step? If I were to reverse engineer these results, how would I do that? How did I do that? And then maybe how can I help other people to gain these results as well? What is the path? What's the step-by-step? Okay. If you can create a good answer to this question, you have a business, because you could get a client today and start working them through it today. As long as it's a one-on-one program, you could get somebody right now, right? And then the next question is, how do I sell it? And that's what we're talking about in the story. That's what the stories are for, is for selling. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, I have one more question that I love to ask that helps people tap into their authority, which is, if I could zoom out to 100,000 feet and imagine that there's been a divine hand preparing me to be an authority on something, and maybe I've been aware of that and maybe I haven't. But if that were to be true, if there was a divine hand that's been preparing me since the day I was born to be an authority on a particular thing, what might that be? Where's the trajectory of this going? It's a really profound question, but I think it can help. It can help get to the roots of where you are in authority.
Awesome. Okay, so now we know. So it'd be great. Would anyone like to share, either in the chat or you can unmute yourself, what a simple result is that you want to build your business around, that you want to lead other clients to, which is also the thing that you're the authority of. Would anyone like to share this, either in the chat or out loud?
I'll share out loud. Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Let me turn my stuff on. So I think for me, just like personal freedom is coming to me. Because that's definitely a theme that I see in like everyone that I work with, and also in my own life story, has been just slowly shucking away the layers that have kept me from freedom.
Amazing. Personal freedom. I love that. And just knowing you in the, the brief way that I know you, I would say part of your process might be asking insightful questions, right? You ask very insightful questions, and this can lead to unpacking these layers, as you said. Would you say that that's part of your process?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, it's interesting that you bring that up, because that, though I haven't been super aware of it, has been a theme throughout my life, that people frequently say I'm curious and that I ask good questions. It's because I am just really curious, right? I love that, like, unlocking. It's like everyone's a puzzle, right? And it's like, if we can like get the right key to unlock you, right, that can ultimately lead to greater freedom.
Yeah. So if I were, helping you with marketing, which it looks like I am, I'd say when you talk about your process, say, step one or whatever, step two or whatever it is, asking curious questions. I would like use that as part of your process, asking curious questions. And then, part of our marketing is telling people some of our process, going into not too much detail, because that would confuse and overwhelm people, but giving them insight into at least part of the process, the 30,000-foot view. We all need to be able to look down 30,000 feet and be like, okay, what are the key steps of my process? And part of in a way that captures people's attention and helps them to want to join the program, right? And so part of yours could be asking curious questions, for example.
Yeah, love that. Thank you.
My pleasure. Cool. Would anyone else like to share a result that you are an authority of now?
Hey, I can share. This is Carolyn. Been working with you guys on my story, and I feel like it's like a good percentage of the way there, but part of it is helping people get their own steps and their own guidance for the process. So that's been a big part of it. And I feel like that is a big part of my story. I'm just still working on the rest of it.
Okay, helping people to, so this is something that you've helped yourself with first and foremost, right? You've helped yourself get download the right steps and guidance from the
Right.
internet. Great.
For the whole business, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, you've done inner work, made this, sacred space, and downloaded the right steps to move your business forward, and it has worked very well. Your in-person business has worked very well. And so now it's like, and this is part of the story. It's like, I've done this for myself, and now I want to help you too. Basically,
Right.
every story is that two-step formula. I've done this for myself, and now I want to help you too, right? If you can tell your business in that simple of a phrase, trust me, you will be successful. If that part is confusing, we're probably focused on the wrong result. So.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
That's wonderful, Carolyn.
Okay,
And,
thank you. I'm still trying to tie it all together. Like I was working with Michelle about not cutting out all my beauty experience. So just kind of trying to clean up the story some more.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Carolyn's work it really complements what we do, right? So she helps people to kind of download intuitive strategy, but not just that, like she is not just the high level download, it's also like the day by day, step by step process. She like goes inside and finds the next step, and then she's able to take inspired action. And that her program that she's developing is going to be about not just the initial download of like, here's the whole vision, but it's like also, how do you do the inner work to reveal to yourself your next inspired steps? And we liked that so much that we invited her to like host a group class for you guys. We're going to try it out for a little while. And so if you guys want to attend her class, I think we're starting next week. She's going to be practicing her process of helping people to download their very next steps in their business in an inspired way. So
Yay, I'm so excited. I've been planning it out already.
isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think as you see it working, Carolyn, your confidence will go through the roof, and then you'll be able to easily move forward and sell it pretty well.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this to help people actualize their highest potential.
Amazing. Wonderful. We're lucky
Thank
to have
you. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you too. All right. Anybody else want to share a result?
I can share.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm still in bed. So um I'd like to share my transformation, and that's through awakening. And I actually use colors for the chakras and Tibetan bowls, the sound and everything, so that the audience can have peace the fastest way. And when they are at peace, they can then really tap into their subconscious mind and have powerful insights, and really really go deep within themselves.
Okay. And of all those results, what would you say is the principal result or two that you feel that you're the most confident about being the authority of?
Well, number one, I actually went through it, and I had my own awakening as an experience.
Awaken.
And yeah, and secondly, I use colors as one of them because I'm a visual person. My meditations are downloaded with, showing me colors when my eyes are closed. But also, I used to be a makeup artist, and I am still. So I'm good with colors when it putting things together, also with clothes and makeup.
Amazing. So awakening, I think that's the main one. I think peace was another one that we had talked about before. And your name is Joy. Like, we probably shouldn't leave that one out. Okay, so you can be the expert of awakening, peace, and joy, basically.
Yep.
That's your authority. And then
Yeah.
when we tell our story, we have to flex our authority. We flex our results. I've gotten this result. It's like a flex. People respond energetically to those types of flex, and then they become open to listening. Well, what else do you have to say? And then you're going to tell them how I got here. And they're going to be like, oh, okay, so that means I can get there the same way too, right? And you're going to be like, yeah, I have a program that helps you do this. Would you like to join? Does everyone get how this all fits together? You flex your authority, you flex your results, then people's mind opens to listening to what the path is like to getting there, how they can do it too. You tell them, and you tell them you have a program that helps them to implement this. They say yes, and then they join your program. That's how this works.
It sounds so simple, John.
It's good. Hopefully it sounds simple and it feels simple. That's good. And then we're about to unpack all the different steps to that process.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you. Would anyone else like to share? I want to move pretty quickly to the next one, but we can get a few more.
Can I share mine, John?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, go.
Oh, me first? Okay. I'm still a little confused about this, but I wanted to share what's on my mind. Because we were talking about how I had different transformations. So I transformed from being super shy to being able to do what I want now and not let my shyness get in the way. So I think that's my story, but I had like 3 other transformations, and I'm still like kind of confused about my story because I don't want to like specifically be a shyness coach. Like I have clients with all these awesome goals and I help them achieve their goal, but that's so broad, but I don't want to niche down and be like like one person suggested that I could help people with shyness, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to just do that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, look, you already found the right business for you. Like this isn't supposed to get you to change anything. You're a goals coach. You're great at that,
Mhm.
right? So shyness was just an example of a goal that you set to overcome, and then you
Mhm.
overcame it, right? And so
Yeah.
that's just, yeah, part of your story is from, we said from debilitating shyness to casual confidence,
Mhm.
right? And but essentially that was you accomplishing, you setting your mind to a goal to accomplish, and then you took steps to accomplish the goal,
Mhm.
right? And so in this case, it was to, yeah, to meet more people, but the side effect was confidence, wasn't it?
Mhm.
I think confidence may have a little bit of a bigger part in your story and your business than maybe you've been previously giving it, and that's fine. We don't have to know that for sure right now,
Mhm.
but the results are that you are an expert of accomplishing goals,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
I don't know. Like, hopefully, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but that's, if something's working, we're not going to try to fix it or change it. That's already working for you, and you love it. It's very natural. I wouldn't vary from that. We may be able to incorporate themes of shyness and confidence, which is basically just fear, right? Fear and confidence. We may be able to incorporate that into what you do as far as mindset and whatever, but you help people to accomplish goals. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you accomplish a goal because you set your mind to it, and then you
Mhm.
figured out the path, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you an authority? Are you a goal boss?
I am a goal boss. I feel like I haven't done anything that epic. Like other life coaches are like, I've started like 12 businesses, and I'm like, I started 2 small businesses, like, you know, but at the same time, I feel like I've created an awesome life for myself, like in a conscious way. And I went through a transformation to get there where I had to get over my fears.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I think it's great. I think it's great. I hear you that you're like, the story isn't that impressive, but it's enough. That story is
Mhm.
enough. It demonstrates the transformation. And then, you know, part of our story is also pulling in client results and telling their story too sometimes. And so
Mhm.
um, we don't always have to be the key hero of the story. If you have a really good client result, that can become a key story in your business as well, right?
Okay.
If,
Yeah.
if everyone that works with you, their business grows because you help them to accomplish goals like a boss, that story works too.
Okay. Cool.
This is
Thanks.
beautiful, and Laura, I want to expand that and kind of touch back to an original point I made because this is what we'll do is we'll take the real results that we've accomplished that are somebody else's dream.
Mhm.
Where you're at right now is where somebody is sitting in their room and they're praying to have the life and to be in the reality that you are walking around in. Okay.
Mhm.
But then when it comes time to claim that authority and then to coach somebody in to that, right? Using, for you, it's about helping people set goals. Then our ego will come in and it'll say, well, you haven't figured it out for these reasons. And we chip away at ourselves, right? We'll chip away at what we've accomplished. We'll chip away at what the reality actually is, because we haven't manifested whatever our next level is. We're holding the ruler to ourselves of like whatever it is in the future that we're trying to create, but that's not where we're telling our story from. We're telling our story from the completed things that you've moved through in the past that are enough to magnetize people. They're enough to make a message, and they're enough to get to 5 figures a month in your business as it is.
Mhm.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. You are enough. What you've done is enough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just this is a good warning for everyone. It's like, yeah, we should be kind to ourselves and not judge our results, but also don't let anything like that we say or anything like change. We don't want to change course too drastically. Like you're already, Laura, you already have something that's working. We don't need you to change that. We're just going to articulate it in a special way.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we have to be gentle with ourselves. Okay, cool.
Shall I go?
Yeah, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Crispy. I feel I have a very like massive macro thing that I'm looking to channel. And part of my thing is being able to be very present and to be able to improvise and think on my toes. And also, and that even with getting past addictive behaviors and things that can pull you every which way. I feel like everyone who's spoken already, by the way, has sway. Just to let you know, you all have sway, and ultimately my superpower is to be an influencer. I heard chakras were talked about earlier, and I'm in this intention set formulating, brand new position of forming what my business would be. And so it gets clearer every day what that would be. Some work fell in my lap last night, which was to get frequencies of each chakra and make them into songs, so that instead of the usual, like I've done sound baths before, I've been part of a sound bath before, but I would like to go a bit further and fuse that with, I think, our natural thought process to make it even more accessible and even more joyful, more like even fuller, that experience that that you may not have to work so hard to arrive to a really great connection with your chakras on a musical hertz frequency level. And I think that sound is such a big part of how we sense, how we can get into things. It's being an audio engineer, I bring that to the fore of composing things that will help clients. And I certainly have a group of musicians that I look to reach out to help me with bringing to the fore things that I will compose for them to lay tracks for. So I have there's some meandering in there, but there's also a lot of movement within transformation, and it's all towards transcendence.
Yeah,
essentially.
You have many talents, and so the careful job that Michelle and I have is to not try to tie it down too early, too fast, because there's a lot and it's still expanding. But based on just what I know and what you've already said, a simple way to frame it is using sound to influence ourselves and others, right? That's a simple, so far, way to frame what you're an expert at and what you've done, is using sound to influence and upgrade yourself, using sound to influence and help others, right? And so you are an expert of this. You have various stories. I think you're still unpacking your method and your philosophy, and that's good. That's a good thing that you're still in the process of that. It's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to hearing about what that is, but that's a simple way to capture what it is so far, I would say.
Absolutely. And that can involve many things, like even degrees of, I guess, vocal coaching or degrees of improv theater experience, of rap, of poetry, of the power of words.
There's many mediums.
Many
You're
mediums,
not-
visual,
yeah, I mean,
sound, word mediums, yes.
yeah, like spoken word. You talked
Expression.
about.
Mhm.
There's so many mediums. You're a true artist, and so you're gonna find endless mediums, I think, for this. But no matter what is the medium or the method of expression, the core authority, I think, is that you've been able to use sound to upgrade and influence yourself and others in a positive way. And this is wonderful. All right, cool. I think, is that everybody? Arushi and Angela, if you guys want to share, you're both muted.
Can I go, John?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I just took notes of everything. Well, I do believe that my authority is soul alignment. This is what I work with my clients, and the core authority is doing this in the Akashic Records. It's coaching and healing in the Akashic Records. And the results they get when they go through this journey. Well, it's they learn how to do inner work at soul level, connecting with the Akashic memories in their physical body, and doing and healing by themselves too. They also get to know about their own truth, their uniqueness, and this is treasure, in my opinion. And then they're able to align with their soul mission and purpose. And when they do that, they are already in their soul path and abundance path as well. And then it resonates in all wheel of life. So as everything is connections, interactions, and a reflection of your own truth, and if you're aligned with your own truth and mission purpose, so you boost prosperity in all areas in your life. So this is what I do.
Yeah. And I know from my experience that you're an expert of this.
Yeah, I am.
You are. However, it's going to be hard for you to charge what you're worth as long as your story is so focused on what you do for your clients. And if you can just incorporate a little bit of, this is what I've done for myself using this method, and then that's the result. It's like what you've done for yourself. You've used these methods, and now you have these results for yourself. And if you can clearly articulate those, and they're true, that positions you on a very high level, and people will pay you top dollar to work with you.
Okay.
Thank you. More relatable. It'll make you more relatable, and it's going to ground your story to touch people's hearts with more clarity and precision.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's just an interesting point that Angela is bringing up here, which is if our expertise is solely focused around what we do for our clients, then we lock ourselves into being like, we've kind of submitted to a model that our expertise depends upon our clients. And so then we're always going to be continually looking for clients to prove ourselves. We're going to look to clients to prove ourselves, and we're going to be willing to sell for low prices or even give it away because we're trying to prove that we're an expert and we need them to prove that. Does that make sense? So that's why we want our story to be about our own personal transformation, at least partially about our own personal transformation, because then you don't need other people to prove that you're an expert. You've already attained the state. You're in the state of, you've unlocked these results for yourself. And if someone wants to work with you, they need to climb the mountain in a sense. Picture, this is an image that I didn't have time to like put into this document, but imagine a hill and a jewel on top of a hill. And you are with the jewel on top of the hill, and your clients are on the bottom of the hill. This is the image for our business, right? And so we tell a story to communicate to them, hey, I was just like you at the bottom of this hill, and I wanted to go up there to where the results are at the top of the hill. And I followed this path, and I used this vehicle to get up the hill, and now I have these results. And look, let's go. Like, there's a vehicle here for you too. I want to help you get to the top. Let's go. Does that make sense? That's the story. That's how the story fits into this. You're already in the results. Your results are not dependent on the person you're talking to. They're not dependent on your client. You've already attained them. And then you just communicate. It was through this method that I attained these results. I was just like you, and I want to help you do the same. Let's go. So you're going to go down to the bottom of the hill, proverbially, to meet them there, and you're going to go up the hill back with them to the results that you've already attained. That's what stories do. And that's why you need to start with what you've already got, the result. Okay, so Angela, in that context, what is the result that you already have?
Okay, you were asking me,
Yes,
or?
yeah. Go ahead, yes.
Well, it's still the result that the most precious one is to know who I am, really am, you know, and my own truth and what makes sense to me, first of all. And from that point, I can interact with anything and anyone in the world.
And tell me, good. And then the last part of this is tell me how that has translated to a better external life. To a better life.
Well, it has improved my relationships with myself and others. Healthy relationships, no more toxic relationships, no more manipulation, no more control.
Wonderful. So you are.
I set myself free.
I hate to pin you down that much, but as we'll see in business, it is helpful to pick a category of either health, wealth, or relationships. And that doesn't mean that's all we do.
Okay. You said wealth, health, and relationship, right? Oops.
Sorry about that, everyone. I don't know what happened. What was the last thing you heard me say?
Yeah, you were saying the words wealth, health, and relationship.
Yeah, picking a category, not because that's all we do, but because we can magnetize a person who wants that result, right? We're not pinning it down in a way that obstructs it. You can still offer them everything that you do.
Okay.
But when we're marketing, we position it as either health, wealth, or relationships, usually. Just try, if you tried that and said, I am a healthy relationships coach, I help people to know yourself, which helps your relationships to be good, right? If you say it like that, and you focus on people who principally wanted to improve their relationships through an inner method of knowing themselves, they would understand your message and they would want to work with you.
Okay, because I call myself a soul mission facilitator. Okay.
That's cool. And that could work. And if that is what you would pick, you would have to change your story though. You can still call it a soul mission facilitator, but then you just check, okay, my soul mission has led me to what? Better wealth, better health, better relationships. You just choose the one and you bring it that way. Okay?
Okay. Amazing, John. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Arushi.
Yeah, so before this call, I was calling myself a mindset coach because primarily my work is to help people with the identify their limiting beliefs that are coming in way of their goals and what they want to do, and helping them break it down, get that into conscious awareness, and then eventually helping them find out and achieve their purpose or the particular goal that they're looking at. But you know what, after Michelle said that think about things that you've been doing that you don't even know that you're doing, somehow it's just confused me a bit, because if I really give an honest answer to that, there are so many things that I've been doing which I did not even realize that I'm doing. For instance, I've also been helping people with a lot of energy work. So I do distance healing, and I do work with chakras. I have, and so as you're aware, I've just left my corporate job, and with this 9 years of background in my corporate space as an HR professional, I was very naturally involved in uplifting people, right? To actually get them close to who they are, in terms of evolving their own personal leadership. So what that would mean is really helping them identify their gifts, helping them align themselves to their true purpose, to who they really are as authentic human beings, what are their true values, and then helping them lead a life from that space. um, I have also been involved in helping women feel very, very empowered post breakups and post relationship problems, because I've gone through that journey myself, and honestly, it's been a very, very spiritual journey. And what helped me the most was aligning everything to the level of the spirit or the soul. So the day I decided that my health, wealth, career, relationships, everything is now going to be based in spirit. It's going to be at the level of the soul, and that's the kind of life I want to lead. Everything in my life shifted, and I realized that very unconsciously I was also helping people do that, whether it's my friends or it's my family. I really don't know how to make a story out of this, because it's a little bit of many things, and which is why I had just branded myself as a mindset coach. But I think after this I will have to go back to rework this thing and really give it some authentic description as to what are the results I can really bring for people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just an insight. I'm not sure.
I love it. You're on
is
you're on
clarity.
it. You're
This is
on
clarity.
you're on the right track. You got it. Your way of thinking right now is correct.
This is correct. Yes.
So mindset coach is going to be too broad, and it also doesn't really capture what you're doing. The more specific, the better. The more nuanced and subtle, the better, right? So I just heard a couple things. Personal power might be one of them. You've attained a level of personal power, and that's translated into several categories. And we can talk about how to apply it later, but for now, that's one result. And another one is like spiritual wealth or something like that. I forget how you said it, but you kind of lit up when you started talking about that. Like you've translated, how did you say it? You've put that first, essentially. You've put spirituality first, but how did you say it?
Yeah. So I said the day I decided, so I actually read a really good book, and that gave me a lot of, it was like a download right after reading it. And I decided to myself that from this day onwards, my life, my health, my wealth, my relationships are going to be born in spirit, like reborn in spirit, and everything will be soul led. So and that's when a little by little shifts started happening, actually in all areas of my life. And now
Okay. This is it.
I don't
Okay.
know how to put this across as a
Yes.
story.
Yes.
No problem. Okay, so everyone pay attention. Like this is how you tell a story. What she just said is the beginning part of a story, and that leads to the insight or the unique shift. There's a unique shift that happened. That's not the result, that's the shift. That's the middle of the story. Then you lead to the end of the story, which might be personal power. Personal power is maybe the result, and that was attained through this method of this, whatever transformation. Usually it does come down to like one day or one experience or one insight or one download or something like that. And it's like this shift that happened where you're like, and usually there's a decision. Usually there is a decision that accompanies it. I'm going to do this differently from now on. Okay, this is a powerful, beautiful story. And if someone listens to this, and let's just say, Arushi, that you went on to describe how you unlocked a degree of personal power, and that translated to results in your life like this, and like this, and like this, in relationships, and with leadership, and in corporate, and it translated in these ways, but it was personal power that did that for me. And the reason I have personal power is that I decided to make everything about my spiritual values first. However you said it, like making it all spiritual. That's the key. That's the key to unlocking personal power, which unlocks these results. Okay, so that's your story. And you start out by saying, I was just like you. And then I had this day where I incorporated everything into my spiritual practice and I unlocked personal power. And now I have these external results. That's the way you tell a story. And someone that listens to that who wants personal power in the category that you mentioned, maybe it's relationships, for example. It could be relationships at work and at home, right? That could be your category. If someone wants that and they're in your market and they hear your story, they're gonna be like, oh, I like that. And you're gonna say the key is to translate everything into your spiritual practice. However you say, I can't quite figure out how to say that, but you made it spiritual, right? That's your key. And then your program is gonna be a way to practice that key. Your whole program is gonna be that. However you did that, whatever happened after that day where you unpacked it and took action and made it real, that's what your program is gonna be, basically. Okay? Does everyone get how this makes sense? Okay, do you ever see the power of this? There's so much power in these stories and there's so much that is incorporated into them.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a very good example. Was that some clarity for you, Arushi?
Yeah. Actually, the moment I heard this question and I was reflecting, something just shifted that moment. Lots of clarity. I think I'll just have to write this down. Possibly after this call, and maybe send you and Michelle a transcript of that.
Yeah. This is recorded as well. We'll put the link of the recording in the chat. Where it's okay that you don't know how to tell the story yet. We haven't even gotten that far yet.
Yes.
But what we want to know now is the result. And this is my first time hearing your story, but it sounds like personal power that translates to either some type of relationship. That's the initial thought that I have. Does that sound accurate to you?
Yes, that's that is actually an accurate description of what I mean to say.
Amazing. So that's your expertise. That's your authority. Personal power in the context of relationships, whether they're at work or at home.
Yep.
That's your authority, and you can build your whole business around that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just starting out. I just hope this sort of pans out, but yeah.
Yeah, I know it's okay, but this feels very clear to me. Okay.
Thank you for articulating it, John.
My pleasure. Okay, so now I'm going to share my screen again, and we didn't get as far as, well, we can take time to unpack this. We don't have to get through it all today, but I want to keep going a little bit, at least warm it up so we can go deeper the next time. Okay. Question number 2, I'm going to go through these 2 very fast. Knowing how you will apply the results to solve a problem and help a person. So this is your niche. This is what we've been talking about. Health, wealth, relationships. That's a problem. The problem is wealth, which could mean business, investing, blah, blah, blah. Health, it could be mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, physical health. That's health. That's a problem. And then relationships, there's a problem. So you want these results to be able to solve a problem for a person. And the person means like who are you helping to solve a problem, right? So this is how you find your niche, actually. People will get confused about the niche sometimes. It's first knowing your expertise, and then you apply your expertise to solve a particular problem for a particular person. Basically, like what do we do? What's our niche? Well, we're helping spiritual people, healers, and coaches to build businesses based on their unique gifts and talents. So we have expertise, but we've applied it in a specific way for a specific person. Because why? Because we were that person and we have a heart where we want to help this person. And so you think, who do I want to help? Who is my heart really understanding? Who does my heart have empathy for? What is the problem that they have that I can help them solve? Like your results can help different people in different contexts, right? Like Crispy, for example, you can use sound and influence to help people in several categories. But it's important to eventually pick one type of category and one type of person, like at least a group. And that way it becomes a very clear message.
Yeah, and that's not a limitation. That's where we actually just pick something to channel our energy toward, like a laser, which allows us to ground it and then to manifest it into reality. It's not a limitation when we do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a gift. It's a wonderful thing.
Once someone joins your program, you can help them with everything that you want. But the initial marketing usually has one type. It's like a channeled approach. One type of person, one type of result. Knowing your specific offer or program. These are preliminaries. We're not going to go over this today. We're going to go over these on different days, but I just wanted to give you some food for thought now. Okay. So now we can take a few minutes. I hope you're not all over full and, but let's talk about this condensed story formula for a second. The condensed story formula that we all need to use to sell our programs and our offers is, I was just like you. And then I found this unique method, a new way. And now I have these results that you desire. I know that sounds simple and it's meant to be simple, obviously. It's meant to be simple, but you want your story to fit into that basic framework. Hey, I was just like you. I had these experiences and I had these problems and I had these desires. I had these struggles. I was trying to get these results and it wasn't working. And then I found this unique method, this new way, right? I found awakening the chakras with color. I found Akashic records, healings. I found goal setting, right? I found, what is it? What Rishi just said. I haven't found how to articulate that yet, but like, I found this method of integrating everything to my spiritual practice. Go ahead. Rishi?
No, that's what I was, that's what I said, that, integrating everything. So for me, meditation really worked, but, asking for guidance and ensuring that everything is done from a place of spirit. Even I don't know how to articulate that. I'll have to think through this.
Yeah, everything done from a place of spirit. That's the key phrase. We're going to work on the phrasing later, but in this story formula, you found that, right? Or if it's Carolyn, it's intuitive strategy, like downloading intuitive strategy from a higher source. I found that unique method and I practiced it. I practiced it too, right? And now I have these results. And then you don't say, I have the results that you desire. You say the results that you have, knowing that they're the results that they desire. I have this, my relationships are like this. My business is like this. My health is like this. This, inner and outer. We have to talk about the inner results and the outer results. We have to do both. Some of us are very inwardly focused, and we're going to forget to talk about external results, right? Like Angela just did, and like we all do sometimes. It's like very inner focused, but it's not real for somebody usually until it translates into your life. And it has already translated into your life, but you just have to name it so that someone listening can be like, okay, I know that it's real now because the relationships at work changed, or they're healthier and happier, or blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay. And then, yeah, so you talk about inner and outer. Some people are very external, and they're going to forget to talk about the inner relief, the inner freedom, the inner transformation, the inner fulfillment. And you need to talk about that too. Okay. Any questions about this condensed formula before we break it into a slightly more elaborate version? Would anyone like to practice telling their story in 30 seconds or less using this condensed formula?
I would love to.
Go ahead.
I was just like you. I was scared and confused and overwhelmed. And then I learned how to really practice self-reflection and meditation and journaling and really get in touch with myself and what I truly wanted. And then I wrote down what worked and I put it in a roadmap. So I wrote down what worked well and I kept doing it and tracking and monitoring my progress and what was working. And then now I live in Mexico and I own my own business and I help amazing people change their lives and do the same thing that I did.
Beautiful. So I want to add one thing to this just to make it a little bit better. I was just like you, and I want you to add this back in. And I wanted the same things. So that's important for a listener. I was just like you, and I wanted the same things as you. I wanted to grow my business, but I didn't know how. Something like that.
Okay.
Now, in your story, you pointed to the roadmap eventually, right? The goal-setting roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would highlight that as your unique method. Rather than highlighting meditation and stuff as the method, I would highlight the fact that you learned how to do goal setting and create roadmaps for goals.
Okay. Yeah, I guess the meditation was an important part too, though, because it helped me really like figure out what I wanted. And then I put what I learned into the roadmap.
Okay. What you learned. Where did you learn it? Through meditation, you mean?
Yeah, like meditation helped me get in touch with myself because, I was working in the sales industry in San Francisco and I was like, this sucks, but I was like chasing money. So meditation helped me, and journaling and just self-reflection helped me get in touch with my inner guidance and realize that I wasn't happy and realize what would make me happy.
Okay, so very good point. Here, the meditation and the journaling is part of the backstory. It's not part of the unique method. It's part of the backstory. It's part of how you got aligned enough to know that your goals were different, right? It helped you to set the initial goals. Is that right? Like,
yeah,
meditation helped you to get clear, like, actually, I don't want my current life. I want this life. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So all that stuff happens in point number 1.
Oh, okay.
Point number 1 is where we get clarity of our direction. Point number 2 is where we transform and carry out some action. And point number 3 is where we attain the results.
Mm.
Okay?
Mhm.
So all that stuff about I was unhappy and blah, 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 that's all in part number one. And it's relatable. You know, for you, that's part of your backstory, that you needed meditation to help you see that you weren't aligned with your ideal life. Now, some of your clients are in a different spot where they already have their goals, right? So they don't necessarily, like, you don't necessarily have to teach them meditation. I guess you could, but the purpose of it for you was part of your clarity. And maybe your clients already have clarity and they just
Yeah.
want help with the middle piece. Part number
Mhm.
2 is where we help them. That's what we offer people, is the step number 2, is the unique method and the plan of action that follows from that. Okay?
Okay.
Is that relatable to you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Do you want to try again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I was just like you. I was unhappy and I didn't, it's hard for me to do it now. Okay.
It's not, how about we come back to you? Let it sink
Okay.
in what we just shared. And if you want, we can come back if we have time.
I think I might just need to marinate on it more. Like I wrote down some of what you said.
No problem. We'll do this next week.
Okay.
We'll come back. Very good.
Cool.
Very good job. It's a good story. I'm just
Thanks.
tuning it a little bit.
I'm happy to try and shoot from the hip.
Do it.
Yeah. I was just like you. I was falling for every which thing that seemed to tell me that this would be how I would get better. I ended up feeling very alone, felt like no one could help me. I felt like nothing was going to go right. And then the pandemic hit and it just got worse. However, within methodology, and I could never keep things simple. Like I always had to see every side of things. And even though I was implosively, suicidally cynical, I was able to take myself out of an implosive mindset into a mindset that I could bring myself up. And that's without denying any part of me that wanted to be the full person that I am. And within learning about the science of sound and deepening my understanding of the human condition and being true to myself, I found that going within allowed me to go back without. I am by nature, I tended to be an extrovert, but I went very introverted and came back to be more myself once again, once I had dug deep. Now I have employees, I have a business, I live 3 blocks from the beach. I'm doing my passions. I'm winning top 3 spots in volleyball tournaments. I'm doing things that are, various passions, whether it's dance, and I'm getting asked to be in many places and to do many things from many friends. And now, after I felt like nobody wants me, it feels like everyone does. And I have brought to myself a very happy and full life where there's always things to do and always more people to help. And I want to help you.
Amazing.
Love it.
Do you guys love that? It's a beautiful story. So I want to highlight a couple of things that you did super well, Crispy. So, and this is for everyone. The emotion that you tell a story with is extremely important, and we need to take them on an emotional journey. And you could feel the palpable difference from the beginning, where there was struggle and frustration and it wasn't working, to when it started to work. right? You could hear the change in his tone of voice and the energy and the emotion. And so just that alone, if people listen to the way the voice goes up and down, they listen to that, they listen to emotional speech. And so someone listening in that way would have gone on that journey. They don't even have to have understood his words. They would think, oh, I want that. Whatever it is, they're like, I want that, simply because of the way he said it, okay? Because of the emotion in the story. So that's perfect, and people need to be captured emotionally. They need to be sold through their emotions and their energy. The actual words we use is part of the sale. That's the logical part. We sell logically using our words. We sell emotionally using our energy and our tone of voice.
And we need both.
Yeah,
We need both.
this is kind of an advanced point, right? The word, and this is what presence marketing is all about, is you use energy and that sells emotionally, and you use your words and the linguistics, and that sells logically, okay? Both come together, and now you've sold them in both ways, and now they will definitely join your program if they can. Okay, so that part was really good. All that stuff was great. The only thing to change is you talked about going inward as like the key. And the thing is, if it's hard to make a program about going inward, like first of all, going inward, I'm just gonna mute you, Laura. I think there's some background. Going inward isn't your key, right? Audio, using the science of sound applied to personal development is the key. And so unless you want your program to be about going inward, that can't be the key in your story. The other thing is that we use this word unique a lot because we want to eliminate all competition. We are creating our own category here. If you position your special key as something that's unique that they can't find anywhere else, then there's no choice but to work with you if they buy into your story. Does that make sense? So becoming an introvert is not unique enough because it's just too easy. People don't even need to join a program necessarily to get that. They can just go into their own room, right, and do it themselves. You want to position your key as something that they can't do on their own. They need your help with. So using the science of sound applied to the psyche or whatever could be the key. Does that make sense, Crispy?
Absolutely, yeah. I could feel as I told it, like that was not one of the stronger parts of the story. And I felt it immediately that, and that's why actually I think I just put on in the group that, yeah, working on formulating the sale aspect.
Yep.
But certainly, yeah, I'm glad I took you on an emotional journey there, and in terms of the how and the unique specificity that I want to get into, that is very much that channeling that's what I want to focus on. That's what I will need help with.
Yeah, so that was the only missing piece, really. Everything else was excellent, pretty much. We can clean up the specifics, right? Like you follow the formula well, just like getting more specifics of like the specific problem in the beginning, the specific result at the end, and then this unique key in the middle. And but you told it really emotionally. I think that still would have worked in some cases. If someone listened to that, it probably still would have worked to some degree, but we can make it better for sure. Cool. All right. Does anyone else want to tell? I don't want to go on longer than everybody can stay today.
I can share briefly, like a rough outline.
Okay, go ahead.
You want? So I was just like you. I felt insecure, lost, unlovable, and hopeless on the inside, while being overproductive, people-pleasing, and perfectionistic on the outside. My lifelong journey of trauma and transformation has enabled me to pioneer a path to break through intergenerational curses and unlock personal freedom. And now I'd like to share that with you.
Wow, I'm getting chills.
Ooh!
I'm getting real chills.
Ooh. Wow, I feel like I'm in church. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I kind of want to hear it again because I was like pulled into it, but
Hypnotized almost. That's great.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll read it. And I'm reading it. I obviously have not committed this to memory, but I just jotted it down. Okay. So it says, I was just like you. I was feeling insecure, lost, unlovable, and hopeless on the inside, while being overproductive, people-pleasing, and perfectionistic on the outside. My lifelong journey of trauma and transformation has enabled me to pioneer a path to break through intergenerational curses and unlock personal freedom. And now I'd like to share that with you.
Okay, the last step, instead of going right to, and now I want to share it with you, talk about how that has translated externally into your life as results.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
you talk about that you want to share it. So how has that changed your life?
Well, it definitely has enabled me to open up to joy and love and abundance beyond my wildest dreams, independence, a sense of like unlimited potential. Yeah.
Amazing. And how is that translated externally into a better life as well?
Well, it's given me financial freedom. It's given me like a chosen family, right? Like a soul tribe. Personal fulfillment, right? Living a life of my passion and dreams. Yeah. And also just a sense of authenticity.
Beautiful.
And empowerment.
Beautiful.
And there's more even too, Emily, just because I know you and we've been kind of connecting. It's like that's just kind of what you're able to name right now. There's even more.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm just like not fully marinating in it. I'm just trying to like grasp at what's coming on the spot. So
Yeah. It's all good. Cool. No,
Awesome.
I felt it. I got chills during your story the whole time. This is excellent.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate your feedback.
You're welcome. I'm looking forward to unpacking it. I think next week, come back again, and for everybody, we'll go over the extended formula for how we can unpack it. Because I think, Emily, like you have all the elements. That's the perfect way to say it in the shorthand form. And sometimes it's helpful to articulate it in a longer hand form.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do that next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Would anyone else like to share their short formula, short story formula?
Has everyone gone?
We kind of already did Arushi's in the last segment.
I have a question, John. Can I ask?
Yeah.
At this point?
Yeah.
What if we keep 1 and 3, point 1 and 3 as it is, like you said, but what if the same individual has different methods, which can be unique in themselves and can actually cater to or appeal to a different set of clients that need that method at that point, right? So what I mean to say is, it could be doing energy work, it could be mindset work, it could be, spiritual work. There could be so many things that you have to offer. And what if you just sort of have different versions of point number 2 while keeping 1 and 3 the same? Does that make sense? Like, could we do that?
That makes sense. It's a really good question. I want to answer the question for the whole group because it's extremely important.
Yeah, you're not the only one with this question.
Okay, so the answer is, of course, you can always do that. In general, is changing the way the elements of your story, depending on the point that you're trying to make. The middle part is where a new key belief is entered in. We're going to use Leonardo DiCaprio again and talk about the movie Inception. We are using a story to implant a belief in somebody's mind, essentially. Okay, instead of in a dream like he did, it's in a story. So you can change that part depending on the belief that you're trying to create. And this is important in various aspects of our business. However, in general, we actually want to decide on one key method and build our business around one unique method. Okay, because this is what we become the expert of. Okay, if we always tell people, if we go around online or in person and saying, this is the key, and this is the key, and this is the key, eventually people are going to stop believing us because we've just said that 4 things are the key. How can 4 things be the one key? We want to tell them that there's one key. This is marketing psychology. When you can condense your method to one, or your message, when you can condense your message to one core belief that you want your audience to gain, that will become a successful message that can become very successful. So we want to distill our entire message to one core belief. And the belief is, in order for this person to get this result, they need to do this. That's the belief, okay? And that's the method. So we do want to decide on one method, and that's why it's good to decide on one niche. I help this type of person get this type of result using this specific method. That's our niche. That's our business, okay? Now within that, we can have different sub-beliefs that we create with different stories, but they all need to point back to the same method. We're going to talk about that later when we go into webinars and how to do like a full-on presentation of your message. We'll talk about that, but at the core, there's still just one belief. There's still just one key, okay? So I get it in the beginning, Arushi, and this is showing that you have a lot of mental flexibility, and I like that. And it's good to be flexible, okay? So in the meantime, until you get your whole business fully outlined and firm, as you're having conversations with this person and this person, it's okay to tell them, okay, this is the key, or this is the key. In order to sell a specific service, fine, that's good, no problem, okay? But you don't want to build a business around contradictory thoughts. You need to.
Yeah, I will send you Brendan's contact right now.
You need to have one very specific belief that you build, and you build everything around that. So that's why we're taking the time to like really go deep about it right now, because we need to decide on that at some point.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Thanks. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Helps a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we changed ours once in our business, one time so far. We had one in the beginning, and we still kind of say it, but now we've upgraded what our unique method is, so that it's more precise than it was before. And so we did, right? Because we're growing and changing over time, and that's okay. But at each particular moment, we want to be able to commit to like, this is the key. And then you build your program as a fulfillment of that method. Your program is a way for them to integrate that method into their life, to apply it to their life, right? Like making everything spiritual. God, this phrasing is still not, it's still not coming to me. But like making everything part of your spiritual practice, like that's the method. And then your whole program builds that, right? How can they apply that method without you? For the certain type of client, they cannot. They need your help to apply that method, right? Some people have already done it. They're not your client. Some people can't do it without help, and that's your client, okay?
There's some deeper truths I think that you're tapping into here, John, that I think are really applicable for everybody. Applicable to Arushi, applicable to everybody, which is that for example, when John and I changed our one thing from what it was to what it currently is, that was a demonstration of a next level clarity. That was a demonstration of another depth of clarity of what our one thing was. And the key on an energetic side to kind of resolve these things that feel like different threads, or us not knowing what the one thing is, or us kind of thinking it could be this or this or this or this, is to eliminate confusion. When we eliminate the energy of confusion out of our minds and out of our body and out of our hearts, and we resolve confusion, we automatically step into clarity. So all of these things tend to organically resolve themselves as we work through confusion and step into clarity.
Yes, and we committed to our first unique method for months and months and months. We got higher clarity, eventually changed it, and now we've committed to that one, and we plan to keep doing so. So this is something that we want to be able to commit to. Of course, it's okay to upgrade and change later, no problem. But our intention is to build our business around it, right? We still use our old messaging a little bit. It's just only a piece now of our main message. It's not the full message anymore. Okay, so this is for you guys to think about, like, how can you come up with a message and a method that's so good, that resonates with you so much that you're willing to build a business around it and commit to it as your core message for a long time. Your program is the fulfillment of that method, and it can upgrade and you can add things, but the message is part of your marketing and your sales process. And we want to decide upon that and then just repeat it again and again. You don't want to have to reinvent the wheel. You don't want to have to reinvent how you talk about what you do every time you're talking to somebody. You want a core message that works, and then you just bring people in to hear about it, right? This is how you can scale an offer, and how you can arrive to a presentation, as Michelle and I did last week, with zero preparation, and present well, like, and how we can just show up to a live and present well. Like, it's because we've already done the work and we've gotten our core message down. And when you guys get your core message down, you can just say it like this, okay? And it'll work.
And it's going to be an emanation of truth. That core message is going to be an emanation of your soul's truth. So it's going to be so natural. It's going to be so organic. If it's feeling forced or not right, or unclear, overly complex, these are all signs that we're not in truth, because truth is simple and it's clear and it feels peaceful and it makes sense.
Yeah, it's going to be blessed. It's going to feel inspiring. You're going to feel uplifted. It might be a download that you receive. This is what we want. Okay. All right. So one more person, Joy, would you like to share your very, very brief story, and then we'll end the call, and we're going to pick up next week where we left off. So come back next week to further refine this process. This is extremely important, what we're doing today. This is part of the core of what we do, is getting this message right. Joy, if you're still there, you can hop on.
Yep, John, I'm here. Yeah, okay, so I was just like you. I had mind chatters, and I couldn't focus, and I was really struggling. Oh man, I couldn't get it right. Okay, I was just like you. I'm having mind chatters. I didn't have peace. I was actually having my mind didn't stop even when I was sleeping, and it haunted me even when I was sleeping. I was so stressed out, coming in the background of corporate. So I understand how you.
Lost you.
Joy, I think we lost you.
Oh, sorry, because I'm actually. Yeah, maybe next time. Is that okay?
You started off really good. That was really, really good, the way you started. Of course, you can go next time.
Yeah.
Is that better? You want to go next time instead? Okay, it sounds like there's something coming up. All right, cool. So I hope this was helpful. This was a really, really, good, thorough initial look at this process of stories. If you use what you learned today, it will definitely build the foundation of your messaging for your business. Next week, we're going to refine it a bit and go slightly deeper, and we'll all get the chance to practice again. I know it can be a little bit, scary to practice your message in front of a group, but we're all here for the same reason, and this is better than doing it on Facebook Live and on whatever other formats that we're going to choose. Might as well practice with a safe group. So that's what we can be for each other. So don't not come next week just because I'm going to ask you to talk out loud in front of the group. That's not a good reason. We're all here together. We can support each other. All right. And, as you know, we do a call on Wednesday, which is about how to bring people onto your profile, into your free group, onto your workshops, onto your calendar. You're welcome to come tomorrow to learn that process. It's about getting people to move into whatever thing you have. And then Thursday is all about learning conversations that lead to sales, intuitive influence, how to influence people, how to sell in a heart-centered way. So that's on Thursday. You guys are more than welcome to come. We do the same time every day. It's 2 p.m. our time, Central, or 3 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, we'll see you those calls if you want, or we'll see you next week. All right. If you have any questions in the meantime, you can message me and I'll do my best to answer you as quick as I can. And I hope you all have a great day. Any last questions before we wind up? Everybody's good for now? Okay, if you think of something, you can text me. All right, talk to you again soon.